Hello, strong people. Not really training for anything specific right now, so just kind of having fun. It's now Thursday at this point. So competition was Sunday. I'm sick. Still, if you didn't see my previous video, I was sick then. I'm still sick. So right now it's just a ton of sinus pressure. My face hurts, so I don't know how good of a lift or this will be, or how long it will be, or how heavy I'll go. My coach specifically asked me to not do a heavy deadlift or a heavy press, so just because he knows I like to do that after shows usually, and I kind of got that out of my system for the online qualifier, so I'm just in no shape to be doing anything like that anyway. So I'm just going to get probably some kind of heavy sets of 3, maybe 5s. We'll see. I don't even know. I want to do some sort of pressing, seated pressing. I don't know if I'm going to do flat bench or if I'm going to do incline. I don't know. My body, I don't know. I never flat bench, so I think I'm going to do shoulder. I think high incline makes more sense for strongman, and I don't know. Maybe laying down is going to put too much pressure in my head, but incline puts pressure in my head too. So I don't know. I'm going to try some incline, and we'll kind of go from there. See what happens. All right, well, that went better than expected. Definitely didn't help the pressure in my face, though. Anyway, I went up to 275, and I was like, from there, I'm like, let's just do, I should say I went to 3 plates. So I went to 3 plates, 315, and I did just 20-pound jumps, or 10-pound jumps per side, whatever you want to call it. So I did 315, 335, 355, and I was going to call it a 355, but it went really well. Felt good. Looked fast on video, so I went up 375. Got out of line a little bit on that last rep on that, and you hear me sound like I was letting the air out of a balloon on that rep too. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know if I don't do this movement very often with just a barbell, so that could be a PR. I don't know. I could definitely put 405 on there today and maybe hit it for a double, but I'm not doing that. My elbow is a little bit funky. Not like tricep pain or anything like that. It just feels a little wonky. Probably could have warmed up better, but I didn't, so oh well, I guess. But it feels fine. So I'm probably going to do some of the usual tricep extensions. I'll do some back probably just because I want to use my lat pull down. So yeah, let's do some of that. I'm going to try to talk a little bit. Stuffy and it kind of hurts to talk, but we'll talk a little bit. So I don't really know what to talk about because not much is going on. Well, aside from the whole show and OSG and stuff, but generally speaking, not much. So, anybody want to buy a shed? The shed over there that I used to train in is for sale. I don't want it anymore. It's kind of just sitting there. It has electric in it. Well, it could. When we moved it, we disconnected it, obviously. But it has all this stuff for it. The only issue is the garage door is a little hard to open because when we moved it, it's not quite level over there, and I know that because my stuff was rolling pretty aggressively over there in the gym whenever I had it set up there. So I had to, like, you know, put stuff underneath my squat rack and my deadlift platform. But once it's level ground, I don't see any issue. We didn't have any issues when it was over here, so it's just annoying because I can't like show that to someone unless it is on completely level ground. So we'll worry about that when the time comes. But seriously, someone come by this shed. I don't need it. It's just taking up space, and I want it out of my yard. So that'd be cool. That'd be crazy if one of you guys actually bought it. If not, that's cool too. So hopefully someone will. Let's actually do some triceps. I'm going pretty light. So I just really want the movement for the most part. Movement and contraction. Just that in itself feels pretty good. I'm watching back 2023 official Strongman games. Trying to see really what I'm up against. It's probably going to be some similar guys as last year, because it usually is, you know. Once you're at that level, you don't really do too many other shows, because that's the show to get to the next step for sure. So, you know, if you believe you're capable of that next step, OSG's probably where you should be going, for the most part, at least in my opinion. So it's fun to watch it. I'm guessing the events are going to be somewhat similar to what I just did. What I'm betting, outside of the events that are already announced, the log press 350, 380 trumps, so heavy log beats the light log, you know. There's going to be a yoke, car walk yoke, whatever you want to call it. So it's a yoke, but there's like a Volkswagen Beetle frame on it, so it looks really cool. 1,000 pounds. And then what I'm guessing the other qualifying events is going to be a deadlift of some kind. I'm guessing axle. They did a deadlift ladder last year. I think it's going to be just axle for reps, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe an axle ladder would be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if that's what it'll be, but it's a thought. So there's that. I do think it will be an axle deadlift of some kind, because it's been in a lot of the regional shows. And then I'm guessing sandbag steeplechase. That seems to be like the new big thing. I like it. I think it's a fun event. I want to get better at it, obviously. I think that'll be another qualifying event. And then finals, it was bag toss and stones last year, I think. I could see maybe power stairs. Power stairs, maybe. Sandbag's pretty common. Sandbag was in my show just now, so that makes me wonder if it's bag toss. I don't know. It's going to depend on what the other two qualifying events are. And if you don't know, it's 2 events Friday, 2 events Saturday. Top 10 from those 4 events go to the last day on Sunday. So depending on what those other 2 qualifying events are, log, yoke, and then whatever the other 2 are, that's probably going to decide whether or not I train for Sunday. I don't want to sell myself short already before the events are even announced, but generally speaking, it might be a bit of a long shot for me to get to Sunday, depending on what the events are. So, with that being said, if I could have put one event in the prelims, it would have been a log. Well, log or axle, I guess. Either one I'm okay with. Honestly, I think I'd probably go axle over log. Just because I think more people are better at log than they are at axle. I think I'm fairly good at both equally, I would say. in my opinion. I haven't had a max, I haven't really done too much crazy heavy axle. But the numbers I was hitting in prep make me think that I'm just as good on axle as I am on log. And I've cleaned a 408 axle, which is cool. That was just randomly after the Pro-Am, I think maybe. I didn't quite press it, but that's okay. So, I don't know. I'm very okay with it being a log. I've already hit comp weight, the heavier weight for sets before, so it's a good start. I've touched 1,000-pound yoke a couple times. That's going to be heavy. I need to get better at that for sure. If it's a deadlift, I think I have a shot. I'm definitely not as good for reps as I am for a max, and it's not going to be a max. They don't like doing max events at OSG just because of the time thing. It's really hard to work up to a max with that many people. If they wanted to, they could absolutely do it, but it's not my show, so it doesn't really matter what I think. Like Strongman Corp Nationals, they do it, but there's I don't know actually. I mean, they do it. I think having that, and they kind of use a ladder format. You know what they did like last year with the deadlift ladder, so it's like 5 bars or whatever, working up to a max. Split times at each bar, which I like. I like the idea of that event. It's not a true max, but if you finish all of those bars, you're the best deadlifter there. If you finish them the fastest, you're the best one there. So it works the same. It gets the same result, which I understand as a promoter. I'm not a promoter, but I've been around enough shows to understand what they're going for whenever they test each event. I guess. I don't know what I'm saying there. I'll say it this way. Whoever were to win a max deadlift is probably also going to win the max deadlift ladder, or at least be very close. So that's all I'm saying. Makes sense. I like the idea of that event. I think I'd have a good shot at that. I do think that I'd have to really train getting my straps on and off for that event, because I may even use different straps for that, just because the ones that I do use, you're locked in, but they are not easy to get on and off, which you need to be fast for. You got to be fast for an event like that. So having to struggle getting in and out of straps is not ideal. So that'd be cool. Sandbag steeplechase, if they do that again, I'd expect it to be 325 and 350 rather than what I just did, 300 and 325. Although only 5 people finished it. 5 pretty legit guys too, so I don't know. Not add a third implement. Please don't add a third implement. That would be awful. If they do that, they'd have to give us another 20 seconds, 30 seconds or something. I don't know, I'm excited for it. Either way, so. All right, let's do some back. How's this look? I really don't even know if I'm in the camera shot. Oh, I love that attachment. I apologize for all the sniffling and coughing. It's just what we're working with right now. This is gonna be all I'm doing tonight. This is the final thing. And I'm gonna go get some food. Energy is zapped. I got the man flu, or whatever people call it. Whenever a guy gets sick, it's like the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not that bad. Could definitely be worse. I'm not throwing up or, anything worse. I'm just very stuffy. / runny nose at the same time. The worst combo. Secondary worst combo. Number 2 on the list, I believe. Having to pee and also being really thirsty at the same time. That's awful. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know if anybody says anything about that, but I'm saying it. I don't like it. It sucks. especially when you're on like a long car ride. Like you just gotta pee so bad, but you're also really thirsty because you don't want to pee, but you already have to pee. So like you don't want to drink too much because you're on a road trip, you don't want to stop. But it didn't work and you gotta pee now. So now you're just, you failed on both fronts. Yep. You're thirsty and now you have to pee anyway. So it's a lose-lose, which is, not fun, but, we carry on. We win those battles. Oh, God. We're almost at 700 subscribers, so I hope all 690, however many, maybe 691 now? I hope all 691 appreciate that little pep talk right there about overcoming our battles in relation to having to pee. What did I even say before I got on that topic? I don't remember. Oh. Kind of going back to, like prepping for the full OSG show versus only prepping for the first 4 events. The way that I go into a show, I think I need to train all 6 events. I need to have the confidence or the hopefulness or whatever you want to call it, that I could do the finals. Walking into it in a way that I'm like admitting defeat to myself by not preparing for the final 2 events, by not getting ready for Sunday. In my head, that means I know I've lost already, which I cannot do. I will not accept. If I am beat or I lose, that is fine, but I will not go into the show with that mindset already there. I walk into every show the same. I walk into the show with the plan to win. That's it. Pro-Am, regional show, local show, whatever it is. I don't show up to not be standing on top of the podium. I go in there to win every show, regardless of who's there. And it's just a mindset thing. I go in there with full expectations to win the show. And that's going to be no different going to OSG. Now, just because I'm saying all that does not mean that I'm going to win it. But the intent is there. I will train as if my next show is World's Strongest Man, essentially. I treat it, that's just how I look at every show. I look at every event that way. That's how it is. And I think that helps me stay confident going into shows. I'm not really, which I would say I wasn't really that confident for this show. I was confident that I would do well, but based on how some things went in prep, it was, I didn't even let that get in the way, honestly. Like there was a part of me that was like, so what, it's prep, that's not the show. Go do what you do. But the other half was like, that was probably the worst last 3 weeks of prep you've ever had. That can't be good. If I go into that every event thinking that, I did bad on this in prep, it's going to go bad here, that I've already lost the event. I've lost the show. That's just not the mindset to have. Whether I could have the worst prep ever, I'm still going to walk into that show and be like, let's do this. Whether that's overconfidence or being delusional or whatever it is, I'm just not going to go into a show accepting defeat. It's not in me to do that. I don't get that. I don't get the mindset of walking in to prepare to lose. Because if I'm going in that way, then I've already lost, in my opinion. If I lose, that's fine. I can handle that. I can handle bouncing back from a loss, but I cannot handle losing before I've even started competing. So got a little serious there for a second. I think I needed to say that out loud though. All right, last set. Oh, feels good to move. I think that's the longest I've gone without training after a show. But to be fair, usually I'm not driving 9 hours or 7.5 hours after a show. And it's usually not a 2-day show. You know, those don't happen that often. So given the scenario for this show, I think having an extra day rest is no problem. Took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Felt good today. Good enough to train. I wouldn't say I feel good, but the body is not sore, which is great. So elbow's a little bit achy. That's about it. Other than that, I feel good. Hip's probably a little bit out of place. Felt like it was popping, but those things are no big deal usually. Pretty used to that feeling at this point. So that's where I'm going to call the video. I don't know if I'll train tomorrow. Might not. Probably won't Saturday. I'm working more overtime tomorrow and Saturday, so I don't know if I'll train. Probably not tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I won't deprive you guys of my loveliness for too long. I'm just kidding. I mean, I won't, go too long without a video, but, I wouldn't say that I'm depriving you of my loveliness. Either way, I had fun training today. Feels good to have a good session. All in all, that was honestly probably the best session I've had in the last month. It is what it is. Let's hope, let's get a streak going of good sessions. So that's where I'm going to end it. Until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.